All right, guys, welcome back to CyberTruck 1. I just cut a video the other day regarding a reevaluation of the bed size of a Cybertruck. They were saying it was 6 foot by 4, like literally 6 feet and literally 4 foot wide. And after some calculations I did, I think that's an underestimation. I think it's a little bit bigger. I think people were worried that maybe plywood and sheetrock wouldn't fit. Anyway, I did this calculation. I still think it's reasonably close to the to being accurate, but since that video was produced, someone gave me some exact information regarding the fluorescent tube size that we're going to go over. That's seen right here. And then the other thing is perception. And so we're going to go over this thing that when dealing with imagery, with photos, your brain can play tricks on you, and things that you think you're seeing or perception of reality is a little bit more complicated, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So anyway, let's start off right here by showing you, this is the tube that I used in this experiment or this hypothesis to determine the bed size. And so if you look at it in the original video, you would think by the look of it from the rear that the tube was over here. But in actuality, it's literally under the Cybertruck, you know, somewhere between the wheel well and the edge of the where the bed closes, the little section that closes on the sides here. So keep this in mind when we go to the next video, when we get to the next picture. Okay, so here we are at the original image that I used, or angle that I used before. Here's the light bar. Originally, I thought it was 36 inches long, and then I downsized that to 30. And now we come to find out that this tube is actually 40.7 inches. And so let me show you why I know this. So when I posted the first video, someone that's a professional photographer or videographer or whatever, is in Hollywood, whatever the case may be, sent me this note and said, listen, I know these tubes and I know the size, I recognize the manufacturer, and so here it is. It's 3.4 feet, which is 40.7 inches, and Jesus, $8,000, but wow. I guess that's what you got to do to be professional. But nevertheless, this is what we're dealing with, this style, this type of bulb. Okay, so we're back. So here it is, that 40.7 inches. And so originally, you know, the mind plays tricks on you. If you look at this bulb here, you get the impression that it's, you know, maybe halfway, maybe closer to the edge of the tailgate. And so if you move this line, this horizontal line, as to where the tube was, if you thought it was here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7.5. But as we move this further and further out, the distance gets wider and wider and wider. So we're actually going to slide this out to basically where we think it falls, and I believe it falls somewhere about here. This is if you look here, this is the wheel well bulge, and so this was the edge right here where the tailgate closes. So I think somewhere in this general vicinity is where this should go. So this is really where this tube is laying when you're trying to use that as a guide for width. So okay, 40.7 inches. If we use that gap right here, we're going to count right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you look here, it's a little bit more than that. But I'm still going to call it 10, because if you look here, it's actually the groove is behind it. So I think if we cheat a little bit, it's essentially 10. So if we take 40.7 inches, which is the tube length, and divide that by 10, we get 4.07. So essentially each one of these, between each groove, is 4.07. This is the same premise, the same idea that I was going with. And so since I said here that we have one over here, again, this one's a little bit bigger and this one's a little smaller, but let's call it 2. There's one over here, one over there. If we multiply 4.07 times 2, we get 8.14. So that's the added inches from the one groove on either side. So if we take the original 40 plus 8.14, we get 48.84. So essentially, here is our 4 feet. So maybe this is what the rumor has it. The guy running the rope line told a photographer, or excuse me, a reporter or a YouTuber or whoever that there was a 6x4 bed. But this is probably maybe what he was thinking. He was talking in generalizations, which is, yeah, it is essentially 6 feet and it is generally 4. But the fact is, the 4 foot is probably really between the groove marks. Okay, so if we have 4 feet here, what do we have in between that and the areas of the wheel wells? Let's check it out. Okay, so this is a good shot of the bed with this spacing on either side. So whatever I said, it was 4 point something. I don't think that's a fair measurement to add, because that was between in this hypothesis in calculation that it was between each groove, and so we don't have a groove on the other side. So what is this here? 3 inches, maybe 4, but whatever it is, 3 or 4 on this side, 3 or 4 on that side. If we to the 4 feet, we either are adding another 6 inches or another 4 inches. So anyone worrying about putting plywood, anyone worrying about it was really 4 foot exact and it wasn't gonna work out, I think there's plenty of space to be had. Furthermore, the bulge here from the wheel well, which I stated in the first video, is because of having the wheels turn now. Remember, when the wheels used to be fixed, you didn't need extra space, but now that the wheels are actually turning, a little space is needed. But it seems like that bulge runs its way all the way to the backside of the cab. But as it makes its way back towards the tailgate, it gets a little wider. So there you have it, guys. I think it's 4 foot here, 3 or 4 inches on either side. That's going to give you 4'6" or 4'8". I think everyone's going to be all right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining CyberTruck 1. As I said, I got bigger and better things coming in the future. Please like and subscribe. And when I get my CyberTruck, which should be sooner than most, I got something really cool. I can't wait to be a part of the build. I can't discuss it right now because of NDAs, but it's something that I think you're going to be really intrigued about. All right. See you at the next one.